missed it there. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? So let me adjust my screen. Whoop, whoop. I say whoop. Should have adjusted my screen before coming on tonight. However, this is where we are tonight. All right. Just so that I can actually see myself in the YouTubes and see the Chitty McChat also in the YouTubes. I have now. There we go. I should have just shut it down and restarted. All right. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream where we got some bevies, we got blades, and we may, in fact, talk about some bushcrafty stuff. We're going to take it back to the old school a bit tonight because I've felt that the live stream's been getting a little too freewheeling lately, by which I mean for months now. So tonight's reading will be from the Survival Kit chapter of Lofty Wiseman's seminal SAS Survival Handbook. This is the new and updated one, but I mean, this is still a pretty old one. What's my date on this? 2009. So there's probably been another new and updated version since then. So that's going to be the reading tonight. I have a few things to show you, little late birthday gifts that are new to me. And so anyways, before we get on to the reading and the news of the week and all the stuffs, I do want to do the usual housekeeping, which is where I say, if you're watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year or sometime in the future, welcome after the fact. I love knowing that you're out there sharing your time, sharing your eyes, sharing your opinions sometimes, even though you can't participate in the side chat. If at any point tonight you really love what's happening, I invite you to hit that thumbs up. That smiley thumb, as I like to call it. If at any point tonight you kind of hate what's going on, that's all right. Frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in keeping the lights on around here, then I invite you to wherever the join button is, give it a click or a tap in another tab. And there you will see what the 2 tiers of membership are, as well as what each tier gets you for your hard-earned money. So, what's been happening lately in the world of bushcraft and YouTubing and stuff? Oh, hi, Kitty. Are you doing good?
No. What are you doing?
I'm talking to my friends. I'm talking to my friends online.
No.
You have to go and say hi to Mama. Okay? All right?
But I came down here to get my blue egg that the Easter Bunny gave to me.
Okay, if you can find it, that's great.
I already saw it around with on the stairs.
Okay. I'm going to talk to my friends while you do that, okay? Did she appear on screen?
See that?
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, now that she's appeared on screen, I'm drinking tea all night. Okay. All right. So, how's everyone else doing tonight? All right. Back on track. So what's been happening lately in bushcraft and YouTubing? First, there's a team of researchers in British Columbia that are conducting this kind of non-invasive sample collecting near pods of transient killer whales in, I believe, the southern ocean around British Columbia. They're collecting what's called eDNA, which is environmental DNA, or the genetic footprint of these transient whales. It's non-invasive because what they're doing is, instead of like capture a whale, put it to sleep, take a tissue sample, they're taking samples around the whales of stuff like feces and mucus, stuff that sort of gets sloughed off of the whales or left behind by the whales as they move through the water. So it's all about getting a clear idea of how healthy the transient whale population is in British Columbia's waters. There's pilot whales or something else. There's another kind of whale that they're also doing this with as a second tier project. So that's pretty cool. Second, okay, so it's pretty common knowledge that wildfires are bad. They've been just getting worse. But did you know that we also have to worry about something called a zombie fire? Zombie fires are, excuse me. Zombie fires are fires that are smoldering away under like the thick winter snow that we get up here. And you might not have heard them because generally they peter out before spring comes around. But thanks to our old friend climate change, that might not be the case anymore. So some of these fires may hang out and may burst into wildfires in the warmer weather like we're having now. Excuse me. And since, obviously we're not worrying about zombie fires right now, it might be something that has contributed to the current state of things. But hey, whatever. Going from fires to water, the NOAA, I believe it is, in the States, is predicting much higher than normal hurricane season. And Canadian sources are predicting the same thing because of much higher Atlantic Ocean temperatures. So if you live on the coast, be careful. Atlantic Canada will likely see stronger than normal hurricane strikes. Florida, good luck. All up the seaboard, down to the Gulf of Mexico. Let's just hope it doesn't kick our asses too hard, shall we? And also, just as a little resource, CBC has this climate dashboard where if you enter your postal code or any other postal code or area, you can see what's happening around you climate-wise. But it's also very, very useful for sort of getting an aperçu of how the wildfire situation looks in Canada right now. NASA also has a wildfire tracker, excuse me, which is a little more scientific, covers all of North America. Anyways, I've linked both of them in the show notes below. So that's the news and stuff for the week. Links for these stories are in the show notes below. And of course, none of that is sponsored content. So who's hanging with me tonight? We'll just do a little catch up and then we'll do the reading, which will feed into the night's conversation. Just let me tell my phone to leave me alone because I took my damn meds tonight. Thank you. So let's see who's kicking back with us, shall we? Scroll all the way to the top. Canadian popped in at 7:37, so that's right after I actually created this live stream. Saying hi, Off-Grid Recon, about an hour early. Nice to see your name popping up, Off-Grid. How are you doing tonight? How's the weather? Weather here today is rainy. Rainy. Grace said it's almost go time when it was almost go time. That was 8:56. You were almost bang on the money there, Grace. Okay, people saying hi. Country Boy, who is a channel hero and channel mod. So be nice. And you won't get the hammer dropped upon you. Destiny popping in. Nice to see you. Canadian says, I think I've reached the point I own enough knives. Sweet. I think I am too, but there are still a couple that I would really love to have. One of which I will never get. So it hurts me, but I'm never going to get it. Never gonna get it. Mark Davidson in the house. Mark is a channel hero. How's it going, Mark? How are you doing on this evening of evenings? Okay, people are just saying hi to each other, so I'm going to skip on down. Canadian. Yeah, at 9 o'clock, apparently we started off with an ad. That's good to know. Mark, Canadian, did I successfully drum over the entirety of the ad? I mean, that's why I do start with the drumming, so that we don't miss any information. Mark is Mark safe from 3 days of storms. In Quebec, it's been very stormy. There was at least one tornado struck and blew some houses down in, was it Gatineau or no? Was it Gatineau? Does anyone remember? Canadian? Do you know? Anyways, Quebec did get its ass not completely handed to it. I mean, we're not talking about hurricanes or anything like that, but a few tens of thousands of households were without power for a day or two. Marcus popping in. How you doing, Marcus? Nice to see you. Sable Creek Vizslas started a live video on Instagram. Good to know, Instagram. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, everyone's just sort of saying hi. Shawnee completely forgot it's Tuesday. I'm glad that you remembered just in time. Or maybe you got a notification. How many of you guys get the notifications, by the way? Because every now and again, I get a notification. I'm like, I know I've been online for a half hour, YouTube. So how many of you guys are getting the notifications? Like, how many of you who clicked on the bell, right, get the notifications? Oh, come on, sinuses. Hey, yesterday morning, man, my sinuses came in like a wrecking ball. I'm all like claretoned up here, but that was rough. Hey, Peanut Trucker. Oh, I'm glad to see you here, man. Glad to see you here. You and your wife bring so much to that side chat. Felt a little bad last week. For those of you who don't know what's going on, I'm going to leave it that way. But Peanut Trucker knows. Destiny also loves it when Peanut Trucker is here. Very popular. Peanut and Peanut's wife, very popular in the side chat. Off-Grid Recon is doing the God's good work by reminding everyone to hit that thumbs up. I will go and reload the damn page so I will see what thumbs ups are like. It's funny because when I'm watching some like non-live stuff, I watch a couple of YouTubers who have high engagement. One of them is Tim Kaine, who, if you're a gamer, you will know that name because he was responsible. You know, he created the original Fallout game. And he and also like Arcanum and stuff like that. But like I'm watching one of his videos and I see the numbers just like every few seconds. I don't know if it's every 2 or 5 seconds or something. Boom, boom. But for some reason, it doesn't do that on live streams. So I don't know. Anyways, it looks to me like I got 17 people watching and 15 thumbs ups. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. There's 2 people, hurting my heart, but I wonder if I'm one of those people. Like, because I'm watching it. So if I thumbs up my own stuff. I don't know. Apparently there are 18 watching now and 16 thumbs ups because I thumbs up my own video. Some of you guys have to do that, right? Drop a thumbs up on your own stuff. Where were we? Hello, little one. Oh, I guess that's when Clem popped in. Upgrade. I'm having a great evening. It's his live stream night, which is always a great evening to me. And I echo Off-Grid's sentiment that I hope that everyone's having a fabulous evening. Country Boy thinks that Clem is adorable. I am. She's not supposed to come down here during the live streams, but hey, she wanted something. And once she showed up on screen and was very interested, and I sort of her sister and I took her away, and she kind of got really, really teary and grumpy about it. So I just, you know what, I'll just drink tea and water tonight, because I believe that now that she's been on screen, I should not be drinking booze. I believe that YouTube will be angry at me for it. She sounds so sweet. She has what her sister had at that age, and that's that she speaks English with a very Franco sort of lilt. and an accent, honestly. And she speaks French with a very Anglo-Littleton accent. And Camille was exactly the same at her age, which is funny. But, Country Boy misses those days. I can't complain. I can't complain. She's fabulous. She's fun. She's cheerful. She's curious. So I'm not going to complain. Yeah, the price we pay is off grid. Absolutely. Tea's a great drink. Tea's a good drink. I like it. Christy popping in. How's it going? Christy is a channel hero. Nice to see you. How are things going? Is it hot or is it kind of cold and rainy down there? It's never rainy down there. You live on the surface of the sun. What am I even asking for? But yeah, still, let me know how the weather is. Everyone's saying hi. I just want to get past it. Country Boy, that big fire. Excuse me. That big fire up north right now is a zombie fire from last year. I knew that at least one of them was, but I wasn't sure. I haven't had time to really stay on top of the news lately. I've been sort of taking a few notes over the past week because I was like, I want to get back to that. But I didn't have time to really deep dive into anything. Yeah, that's good to know. Up northern Alberta. Yeah, it seems that Alberta and BC are getting kicked pretty hard right now. Peanut Trucker says that warmer. Yeah, exactly. When the Atlantic is warm, you end up, well, when the Pacific as well. But I live near the Atlantic, right? So hurricane season here. I've got in-laws in Florida and New York, and I live in Montreal, which isn't usually too badly hit. But like if you're on Cape Breton Island or Newfoundland or Halifax or something, it's not like it was 40 years ago. Destiny says, love ocean conservation Namibia. They untangle seals from all sorts of plastic, nets, hooks, hats, pants. Good to see the seals finally free. And like, what? I'm finally free? Yeah, I would love to have gone into something like that as a career. Hike with Mike. Speaking of people who are probably watching the hurricane season unfold. How's it going? How's the weather down there? How you doing? What's that from? Is that from Friends? By the way, Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so please, if you're not nice to anyone, he's gonna. Oh, is David Evans around yet? I got a lot of good mods. I used to really need a lot of good mods. There were people, kicking back and slinging crap at my guests and each other, and like, what's going on? But we've been really lucky, generally, with one or two exceptional moments. But we've been pretty damn lucky lately. It was getting really rough for a while there. Yes, the drumming was on point. Nice to hear. Where Canadian lives, they had Tornado Watch on Monday. I believe you're sort of near I don't want you to say anything exact online, but I believe you are somewhere within the realm of the National Capital area. Gatineau or sort of the Ottawa Valley somewhere, but on the Ontario side, I believe. Destiny got the notification. Okay. Yeah, so did Chrissy. Okay, so some people are getting, hey, there's Charles and Annie. How's it going? You received the notification. Okay, so some people are getting it because some people don't. Some people just don't get it. Some people just don't get it. Some people don't get the notifications. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening, YouTube? What's going on? So yeah, it's cool to see you, Charles and Annie here. Charles, I haven't seen a picture of that house build of yours in a while. How's that going? Are you done? Maybe. No, I feel that if you were done, we would have gotten a joyous Discord notification or Discord message or something. Hey, there's Serge. How's it going? Fashionably late. That's fine. No problems. No judgment. We're all friends here. Serge, by the way, is a channel mod. So many hammers here. If anyone gets unruly tonight. Okay, everyone's just saying hi to Serge, so I'm gonna skip. Okay, I didn't do anything there. I have no idea. Everything just went poof. And I was like, really? Is that how it's going to be? But like, I didn't. My first thought was, did the power brown out or something? Like, there wasn't even a flicker. Let me find where I was. Where was I? There we go. Okay. So there was Serge saying hi to everyone. And everyone's saying hi to Serge. Country Boy says to Serge, you just need to delete a comment and all will be well. I wonder which comment he's... Shawnee, I can edit that. Yeah, I can edit out the squeakling. Yeah, that's true. Marcus, the dogs are still growing. They're going to get spayed on Friday. Nice. Hey, Jennifer, I'm glad to see you popping in. Nice to see you. How's the weather where you are tonight? And are you and Chris together, or is he on the road again? I saw some pictures of that big old truck of his on the road. They're like tourist shots, but a truck instead of a human being. They're really cool. Really, really cool. So where Christy is, it's 105 degrees freedom today. So what's that, like in the early 40s in degrees Canadian, right? Because isn't like 40 is like 101 or something? Because it's minus 40 where they both meet, right? They both meet at a temperature. And it's a 40, but I don't know if it's plus or minus. I think it's minus. I'm just not smart enough for this conversation, know what I'm saying? Everyone's saying hi to Jennifer. Cajun said, I had to attain another cordless sawzall because my son-in-law borrowed mine and hasn't returned it. I need to obtain a cordless sawzall, actually. I still need to replace my drills, my cordless and my corded, and pay my taxes and stuff. So I don't think I'll be buying a drill anytime soon. But I do need to pick up a drill because the one I have, my corded one, which is the one I use for cement, concrete or brick or whatever, I knocked the word they fails me. It's on a turning spindle thing, a rod. Anyways, so now instead of twisting like this, it sort of does this. So some of the holes I've drilled of late have been of questionable worth. Country Boy says, my daughter is the light of my life. She's almost 22 now, but she's still a daddy's girl. My eldest daughter is 12. You can make of that what you will. Serge said, I only discovered what zombie fire was this morning. I had never really heard of the term before this week because they have traditionally just sort of petered out before the spring hits. But apparently not anymore. My sinuses are going nuts. Hurricane season starts June 1. Good to know. Let's hope it's a little late this year. It's going to be bad, man. I hope that you guys who are living in sort of the hurricane zones, I hope you can just batten down the hatches or something. In fact, the reason... Hold on. I'm going to get to the end of this batch of texts, comments, and then I'm going to tell you why I picked the reading I picked tonight. Okay. Destiny is asking if Chris and Jennifer have an underground bunker for hurricanes. That would be interesting. Country Boy says the bad guys are afraid of us. They sure are, or they should be. Canadian, you're in Stittsville, right? I ain't scared. I'm just imagining Canadian sitting there on a rocking chair, boomstick in his hand. You feel lucky, punk? No bunker, just the back deck. Yikes. Wow. Jennifer says, I stayed right here in our trailer during Hurricane Michael, which was a Category 5. Yikes. Ian the Weblord. In the house, Ian the Weblord is a channel hero, as you can tell by the little tiny icon. Grace says, with all the flooding that accompanies hurricanes, not sure underground would be my go-to shelter. I wouldn't know. Because I haven't grown up in Hurricane Alley or Zone or whatever. So I don't know what I would do for... I don't know what I would do. Still working on a driveway and a decorative bamboo fence. My dad has a decorative bamboo fence in his place in Penticton. It's really nice. Canadian says, do you want to see something? Google Jerry Gray, Stittsville. You'll probably see me receive an essay of Ottawa volunteer award a few years back. I will look that up afterwards. I'll look it up after the... Okay, I'm going to leave that where it is. Don't scroll. I want to do the reading. Peanut truckers in Louisville. Louisville. I may as well just get... It's hot and humid. He's on the road. He'll be home this weekend for your birthday celebrations. Nice. Do you guys have anything massive planned? He's not going to tell me if he's got anything planned. It's probably going to be a surprise. 40.5 C. Okay, that's good to know. 45, 40, and Chris says same thing. Hunter Boy says wasn't referring to a particular comment. Sales just likes to delete his comments. He does. In fact, he is the only one who bought the message deleted T-shirt when I still had swag. Apparently, Jerry had no idea. Just received a notice in the mail that you got a volunteer award. That's cool. Seth says, since I got my Milwaukee, which is a bit more compact, I don't like the Sawzall. I don't know what a hacksaw is. I promise I'm not being paid to say it. Fair enough. David Evans popping in. Channel hero and channel mod. All right. So this whole hurricane season is one of the reasons I decided to do. I have decided to do a reading from the Survival Handbook, the SAS Lofty Wiseman's seminal SAS Survival Handbook tonight. Another reason is because I was reminded of I still have to finish my research for that 72-hour survival emergency pack that I was asked to do a few live streams ago. Anyways, I'm not going to read all of the words. I'll read a little bit of the intro and then just what the items are that Lofty suggests. And then we can talk about it, because I know that several of you guys have survival kits, right? So let's just get the reading out of the way. Al's not here, so nobody's going to get grumpy with me. A few key items can make all the difference in the fight for... Lofty Wiseman is British, but I don't need to do that, right? It's just words. Collect the things listed below. They can all be fitted into a small container, such as a 2-ounce tobacco tin. 2-ounce tobacco tin. All right. That will be hardly noticeable when slipped into an anorak pocket. Make a habit of always having it with you. Do not choose something bigger. You may find it inconvenient to carry and leave it out. On the one occasion you actually need it. Many people who roll their own cigarettes carry such a tin. Then it's experience has proven that each item earns its place, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So what he's done is he's listed the things and then in brackets the number of the thing. Okay. So right off the mat, right off the hop, right off the bat, whatever. Matches, one sort of book or whatever. Waterproof. Are useful, but they're bulkier than ordinary non-safety strike anywhere matches, which can be made shower-proof by dipping the heads in melted candle fat. So, and then he says to save even more space, snap off half of each candle. of each matchstick. I like the idea of just using those little wooden matches and dipping them in wax because you're essentially getting stormproof matches, smaller size, lighter packet. But I'd love to know what you guys think of, because some people it's like, I gotta have the Zippo in there, which is great, but you do need to have gas for the Zippo then, right? Because if you don't use your survival kit for 5 or 10 years, you may go click 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 on the Zippo and be like, that's dried out. So I'm a big proponent of having matches in your kit. I would also have a flint and steel because this is me we're talking to, but like the actual survival element of this kit, the words are not coming well tonight. The survival aspect of this kit kind of dictate that you need to have some matches, some strike anywhere matches. Next is a couple of candles. Light source, but also can be very useful for starting fires. Like if you need to keep a flame under a piece of kindling or something for longer than, the match will be burning the crap out of your fingers way before the candle will, right? He says a flint. So, okay, I'll read this part because he does mean a flint with a striker of some sort. Flints will work when wet. It says, oh, you know what? What a stupid design. Okay, I thought that what was happening in the brackets was the number of the things, but it's actually just a numbered list. Why would you do it that way? What kind of 1992 era crap ass design is that? Back to the show at hand. Flints will work when wet, and they will go on striking long after you run out of matches. Invest in a processed flint with a saw striker. So I guess a striker made from a piece of hacksaw blade or something. Magnifying glass. So the idea behind that, look, a magnifying glass is useful for a couple of things, right? You can use it to start a fire with the sun if you're really freaking patient, or you can like singe ants, I guess. Or like if you're looking for, you want to see like a tick, or you got a splinter that you're trying to get out or something. Magnifying glass is very, 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 very useful. You can either buy like a little loop, or you can just buy a little Fresnel lens, like sort of credit card sized. Comes in a little plastic kind of pocket. Needles and thread. A lot of people forget that. But if you got needles and thread, then if you rip the arse out of your pants climbing over a fence or something, you're saved. If you need to, if the bottom falls out of your, if you get a huge rip on the bottom of your haversack or something, needle and thread. You need a couple of different sizes of needles, right? You need, like to repair a shirt, you just need a very narrow needle and narrow thread. But for something like a haversack or something, it's good to have something big. Some people can have a big honking needle with some heavy thread, like wax or whatever, for repairing leather work, right? Fish hooks and line can be very, very useful. For me, not, because I'm afraid of catching and eating a fish that I'm allergic to, and so then I end up dead, which is the opposite of surviving. Compass, obviously a compass. For a survival kit, I would go for one of the little button count. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say that again. For a survival kit, I would probably go for something that's a little button compass, because you're trying to save space, right? Like your needle and thread, little tiny sewing kit, your fish hook and line. You probably got it all sort of, your fish hooks hooked into a little cardboard card with nylon thread wrapped around it or something. Like everything has to be fairly small so that you can pack it all up, and it doesn't take up like the entire trunk of your car, or doesn't require a whole backpack, right? If you can get it into one of these little tobacco tins, then you're going to just carry it everywhere. Or if you can get it into something like this, you'll have it in your car. It's not going to be taking up space. That's there because I've been thinking about, shift hit the fan kits for the car lately. So yeah, a compass, little button compass. There are some very good ones that work. They're not all like Cracker Jack prizes, right? I don't know what this is. A beta light. It says beta lights provide a reliable and continuous light source for about 15 years. The lights are generally the size of a small coin, are self-illuminating, requiring no batteries, and are ideal for map reading. I don't know what that is. So, okay, Lofty, I'm not going to put that in my kit just because I have no idea what the hell that is. Snare wire. So that'll probably be brass or something. You can make a snare for squirrels or rabbits or whatever. If look, you got to practice, right? You got to learn, you got to practice, that kind of thing. But it's still good to have. Obviously, in most situations, you're not going to, well, this depends on your where you live, but where I live, they can't touch a squirrel because it's a fur-bearing animal. You need a trapper's license. But if you're in a shift hits the fan situation, it's good to have some snare wire. Before I go any further, I'm just going to see what people are saying in the side chat because I'm hoping that people are engaging with the content. I do want to say hi to Fog360 Bushcraft. I do not believe that's a name I have seen before. So if you're new, then welcome to the stream. I hope you're finding my little reading interesting. I hope you have some input or some suggestions or some ideas or something. I hope it's jogging something. So let's just sort of catch up. Oh, Chris, you're taking her to the winery for her birthday. Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely want to see those pics. Looks like a really nice winery too. Charles says, when we lived in Mississippi, we had a Cat 5 tornado shelter in the garage. It would hold at least 8 people. So what does one of those look like then? Like if they're building tornado shelters, what does that look like? Is it just something like really low to the ground, like a low mound? I don't know. Destiny says, okay, we need a lantern, a rocking chair, and a fire for the readings, even a fake fire, and a blankie there. Yeah, I'm going to get back to my reading, but I think Kevin Callan has the best freaking idea when he does his whiskey fireside chats. I mean, he's not always next to a fire, but I would love to have come up with that idea. Glass of whiskey, fire pit. I'm in a, wrapped in a blanket, just chatting. Yeah. Canadian says, it's been over a year since I quit smoking. By the way, congratulations. I love the fact that you're still staying strong on that. Keep the faith, man. It's worth it. It's been over a year since I quit smoking, so there's several lighters, an emergency bag, and stashed. The little Bics, what's cool about them, and I guess that's true of Zippos too, is that you can still use them as like a kind of like a flint and steel, just to get the sparks going. It's not as good as a real flint and steel, but it will start a fire. Fog360 Bushcraft says, I've known Lofty Wiseman. Chris Kane was his lead instructor many years ago. I taught survival courses for Chris. That's cool. That's cool. I'm never going to get to meet either of those guys, but that's cool. So, Fog360, do you live in the UK then, or did you move here, or were the courses in North America somewhere? I don't want you to get any... I don't need exact geographical information. I mean, we're online here, but that sounds interesting. That sounds cool. I have yet to take like an outdoor survival course outside of the ones I took when I was in the Royal Canadian Air Cadets as a teenager. And I feel that is long enough ago that the knowledge I gained there is probably forgotten, but stale in some ways. Yeah, Canadian, I can imagine you're saving a fortune. Yeah, I like what Peanut Trucker is saying here, because I really do think that Jerry needs kudos for keeping it up for over a year. And it seems that year's gone really fast, man. Man, my sinuses are not leaving me alone. Sorry, guys. I know it's gross. Sorry. Serge was thinking about it. I don't need a bug out bag or survival kit because I don't need to hide out in the woods. I'm already there. You're such a brat. Canadian says, my emergency bag is for getting home in an emergency. Well, I mean, and there is, in fact, like, it's kind of like what Serge said, right? There's a dichotomy here, right? There are two different philosophies, right? Do you bug out or do you bug in? Like, there are dangers to both of those, and there are benefits to both of those, you know. Mark Davidson says upholstery needles are great. Yeah. They're robust. They work on almost everything. Hey, look who's here. Tenenbaum, haven't seen you in a minute. Nice to see you. We're talking about well, we're going through Lofty Wiseman's concept of what should go into a survival bag. And sort of discussing the concepts and what other people bring to the discussion. Canadian has his bug out bag in his truck at all, or his bug home bag. Oh, it's essentially a glow stick. Okay. Why are they? So is beta light or beta light? Is that like a British term for it then? Destiny says, striking a matches, candles, flint with a striker, yet compass, magnifying glass, needles, a thread, fish hooks, line, beta light, snare wire. We're only halfway there, Destiny. Like, what you will note from the list of everything that Lofty says should go into that 2-ounce tobacco tin is that you need to know how to pack. Destiny, what about duct tape? Useful or useless? I think, look, a lot of people have duct tape in their survival kits, okay? There are many cases where that will come in very useful. Chris says, Jennifer always carries needle and thread and makes first aid kits to carry in the truck. Nice. I need to make... So, what I want to do, right? So, like, my whole thought process behind the reading that we're only half finished, the discussion of like hurricane season and wildfires and the 72-hour bug out bag that I still need to put a concept together for a live stream soon, because I've been sort of thinking about it, but like passively, and I need to just sort of boom. I'd like to be able to fit an emergency kit into this for the car. I had made one for my wife's car a few years ago, and while cleaning the car, it sort of just got left in the driveway, and then and then a large storm came through and just blew the thing to smithereens. So, okay. I believe this is like a range box or something, but what else? I'm gonna see what I can fit in there. That's the task I'm setting for myself. Fit a full kit in here, a car kit. So what I would need also is road flares, right? Or those little triangle reflective things that you put on the road. You know, like, car kit's not quite the same as just a get home bag or a bug out bag. Shawnee, there's upright tornado shelters made of steel and bolted to concrete that people can buy and install. I can't remember the company. Wow. I'm impressed. Charles and Annie, looks like a bank safe. This one was 8x10 and bolted. Looks like a bank safe. This one was 8x10 and bolted to the cement. Okay. Wow. How expensive is that? That's gotta be like tens of thou. Duct tape is great for the usual uses and also great as a fire starting aid. Wow. I totally forgot about that. Tenenbaum, you're so right. Duct tape. Okay, is Fog 360 Bushcraft is in the UK. So you and Tenenbaum are probably the latest in the evening of all the people here, because Tenenbaum is in Scandinavia. It burns really well. Yeah, and I totally forgot about that. Yeah. You live in Cornwall. Nice. I've only ever seen pictures of Cornwall. The only place across the pond I've ever been was France. I spent some time in Paris, and then I got the hell out to go up to Brittany and Nantes, which used to be in Brittany. It was the capital, and then of course the French government shifted it to another département to sort of cut the independence movement off at the knees. But I will tell you something for free. Paris is sublime as a city, but I would take Nantes over Paris any day of the week. The people are just so Celtic, you know. Grace says, Destiny, my son uses duct tape to hem his work pants. To hell with needle and thread. Yeah, I worked on a couple of sites with guys who did that. Yeah. Chris says, so send your address so we can all bug out to your place. Peanut, I don't think, if we're in a bug out situation, they're closing the border. But then again, I don't think anything could stop your rig. So, Tenbaum says, bug out or in, depends on where I am and what the situation is. I have a bag of stuff at work. I have a bag I carry to and from work. God, if you like, Tenenbaum has dropped so Betalite is an actual brand name. Hold on, let me. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to open that in a new tab, and then I will share that tab. Where'd my tab go? Okay. Typical tactical website, but we're not gonna hold it against them. Share screen. Betalite torch. So, self-luminous torch. It's a compact, lightweight light source. So this it's essentially a glow stick in this little container. So does that mean that they only work, like, do you sort of, I don't know, snap them or something, and then they work a little while, and then they sort of dissipate like a light stick does? I'll tell you something. Where's their online store? I want to know what they cost. Request for quote. I don't want to have to request a quote. I just want to buy them on Amazon or something. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I will try to find, because they look like they're probably fairly affordable too. So maybe I'll pick up a couple to throw into various survival bags, bug out bags, bug in bags, the car kit, stuff like that. Country Boy says, duct tape is great for everything except ducts. Pretty ironic if you ask me. Fair enough. Yeah, Canadian. In tick-infested areas, duct tape ankle cuffs to keep ticks out. Yeah, you put it sort of sticky side out, and they ain't getting to you. Okay, so Tim says, I think it's probably a tritium eliminator. Okay, yeah. Well, judging by the look of that site, it must be. I mean, they're probably making Pew Pew sites as well. Maybe under a different brand name or something. Yeah, Destiny is thanking Tenenbaum for the link. The Betalite looks very useful. Sorry, guys. Man, my sinuses are just going crazy. Give me a second. Hay fever season sucks ass, dude. Fog360 says, you can buy a survival tin with all this stuff in. Most people who end up in a survival situation only have the things in their pockets, so I carry a good pen knife and a lighter as your EDC. Fuck, like I don't know the UK markets very well, but is there a good survival tin with all this stuff, or are they all kind of BS? I would love to buy a survival tin just to sort of, as content and sort of open it up and show what it's got, but I don't want to throw money at something that's crap. Like, I like to show things on my channel that I can back as a purchase. I have not always shown stuff that I can back as a purchase. Sometimes I'll throw something up as a public service announcement. This was not worth $50 kind of thing. Grace has her camping first aid kit in a plastic watertight ammo can, which is funny because, hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Which is funny because I keep my birdseed in a metal ammo can because the squirrels will break their teeth before they get to my goddamn seeds. Shawnee says, $4,000 for a basic shelter, that basic tornado shelter. That's the one you're saying is an upright and stuck to concrete. I'm trying to remember if Shawnee is in the United States or Canada, because $4,000 is a very different number if it's $4,000 US. So Charles says that it was there when they purchased the house. It had to be expensive. That sounds really pricey. Honeybees lurking a bit while preparing supper. Let me. Well, yeah, Serge, I'm thinking it's Freedom Bucks as well because I don't remember if Shawnee's in Canada or the States. I remember Tab. Canadian, why are you asking about that? I also remember the Pop Shop. They used to deliver to your house. Tenenbaum says, read the beta light. I think it's the tritium details on a dive watch. I suspect it does need to be charged with exposure to the sun or a flashlight. Interesting. Jim says, Audi, I'm heading home. Long drive tonight or short drive, Jim? Canadian has two, a green one and a red one. Apparently they ain't cheap. I shall take a look. Oh, Fog 360 says BCB, do a good one. I will look that up in a sec. BCB Survival Tin. BCB International. Page not found. Are you looking for this? No image available, but it's okay. I will find outdoor products retail. I shall take a look at this at a later date. Actually, you know what? No, let's share this. Let's share the screen. I mean, if you found me the website, let's show it, right? Share screen. Outdoor survival kits, BCB International. Come on, fool. There. So, I don't know what counter custody kit is. I don't know what that is. So, there's an advanced personal escape kit. So, I mean, there's a prepper element to this for sure. Mountain survival tin. So, 30 pounds. Oof, so that's probably about $50. Might even be pretty close to 60 at this point. Canadian dollar's not doing that well, but disaster grab bag. Let's see. Is there anything in it, or is it just the age restricted product? It's just a bag. Oh no, it's not just the bag. That's why it's 300 pound. Okay, so what you got in there is whatever is their version of a Camelback, right? Like a hydration bladder with a hose. You've got a mess tin. You got arse wipe, which a lot of people don't think about, and you really need to think about, because many of us know someone who's wiped their arse accidentally with, poison something. These look like MREs down the middle, or IMPs. I don't know what the British call them. Canadians call them IMPs. Americans call them MREs. But it looks like emergency food. But does that look like a 72-hour bag? Like when I think of a 72-hour bag, there's a lot more food. Although those look like those orange things must be like bivvies or something. Oh, are these blue and white things? Can I make that bigger? Can I make that bigger? No, I can only make the site behind it bigger. Wait a second. No, didn't work. Oh well. Let's just see. Okay, description. Yeah, bladder, survival instructions, Crusader cooking system, nice. Dragon fuel, 6 little packs. Fireball, flint, and striker, nice. Tinder, waterproof matches, candles, yeah. 1 liter water bottle and mug. Water purification tablets, salt sachets, mess tin with wooden spoons, nice. Mint cake. Okay, so that's 32 mint cakes. That's what those little great blue things are. Why so many mint cakes? Okay, and then breakfast pouches. So I guess 1 breakfast mouch. What? Oh, and then 3 main meal pouches. Okay, so that's 3 days. Signaling mirror, yeah. Distress whistle, nice. Wind up torch / flashlight combo. I thought torch was flashlight. Bags, paracord, first aid kit, toilet paper rolls, yep. Waterproof bag, camo wipes, and a jerry can. It looks like a nice set, but this is not what we clicked on here for. We clicked on here for this. Oh my god. Oh, look at that. Are you kidding me? Is that for kids? Okay. Take part in your first adventure. Step away from technology and explore the outside, even if it's only in your back garden. Oh, it's an adventure kit. It's not a... Oh, it's got survival instructions. I'm buying this for my kid. I'm buying 2 for my kids. How's that for an episode? Like, if this is £10, the shipping is probably going to be devastating. But I'm going to look that up. If they'll even ship to me. But yeah, so there's a mountain survival tin and a trekker survival tin. I do love the mountains, but I'm not a mountain climber. So let's take a look at the trekker survival kit. Why do you need to be 18 plus to order this? Okay, so there's one of those chainsaws, like that you do this with, I guess. Whistle, some safety pins, instructions. Those look like alcohol wipes. There's a sewing kit, matches. This is, yeah, I bet you that's either a mini sterno stove or like maybe a tea light. I'd buy that for the episode. $25, 25 pounds. No, not $25. Probably about 30, 35 or 40. So what's in a mountain survival tin then? Condoms. That's the big difference. Oh, it's got a little knife in it. Little folding knife. That will not get through the border. So forget it. All right, so let's get back to you guys. Fog 360, that's thanks for boom, stop screen. Thanks for dropping that in there. Tenenbaum, I'm going to check the beta lights as well very soon. Should we check those now? I want to get back to my reading, but you guys are dropping some interesting stuff in the side chat. No, I didn't mean to open a new window. Oh my snap. Are you kidding me, Tenenbaum? I am not buying a beta light if that's what they cost. Look at that price. $200. How big is it for $200? And that's probably 200 US, right? Because if you look at the size of the writing in this picture, oh my snap. Why is that tritium stuff so expensive? Okay, so it's 77 millimeters by 35 millimeters and weighs 45 grams. Like if that was a $30 light, I'd be all over that like a fat kid on a Smartie. But there's no way. Yeah, that's it next to a €1 coin. No. I do want it, but not at $200. No way. $200 is like that's a dentist appointment. That's a that's a knife. But it's not like, whew, oh, that's disappointing. Yeah, this house says hay fever sucks when you like trees and shite. Absolutely. Canadian to American exchange is 140 now. Okay. Yeah, Destiny. I don't remember it right now, but we use a non-toxic one. Because my kids and I have very sensitive skin and stuff. So Jim is doing his normal half-hour drive. Okay, let me finish the reading and keep discussing. I just want to see if Destiny says we got citronella and permethrin for the skeeters. Destiny, if you're in Canada, the only way you can get permethrin is you can buy impregnated clothes, which are very, very pricey, or you have to buy cattle grade permethrin and dilute it down. Human grade or whatever permethrin, I believe, is still illegal in Canada. It's still banned. Okay, so I got down to snare wire. Next up is a flexible saw. We saw that in a couple of the pictures that I just showed, right? That's one of those saws that's essentially it's like a chain that you just with handles and you pull it back and forth around a tree trunk. Not the fastest way to cut down even a small tree, but it does wrap up nice and tight to go into a survival kit. Medical kit. You need a medical kit, but you also really need to know how to use it. And some people are very comfortable with sutures. Other people should have those or sutures or like the staples. I will do fine with those little things that are like shaped like this. You just you put them across your cut, whatever they're called. They stick on, but like they're shaped like this. That's as comfortable as I am about stuff like that. I'm not comfortable with doing suturing. I don't have a medical background. And it's crazy how many people are like, I'll keep my head. I can do this. Whether it's suturing, though they've never been trained, or like, I'm going to keep my head when the crap hits the fan. And without training, you're running the risk of not. Some people are very level-headed. Some people are not, So I'm not going to have a suturing kit or the staples or whatever in my kit because I know that I'm not going to use them. I'd probably bleed out before I would take a needle to myself. Whereas those little sticky, what are they called? What the hell are they called? Anyway, so in his in the medical kit, he says, it depends on blah blah blah, but here's a bunch of things that will cover most ailments. He says an analgesic, an intestinal sedative. What is that? Oh, for treating acute and chronic diarrhea. Imodium is usually favored. Fair enough. An antibiotic. If taking, avoid milk, calcium, and iron preparations. An antihistamine. Yep, absolutely. So like Benadryl or whatever the British equivalent to Benadryl is. Piriton. So an antihistamine is good for allergies, either like what you guys are clearly seeing happening here, or bug bites or whatever. We have antihistamines for if Clem eats something that sparks an allergic reaction. We were classically conditioned through some very dangerous moments. And so, but sometimes we're at the point now where some reactions are just Benadryl, you know. Water sterilizing tablets, absolutely. That's for if you don't have a way to boil up your water, like right there and then. There's also UV lights and everything, but what I like about a survival kit is if you can have something that does not require any batteries, that extends the shelf life of your kit, right? So I would go for iodine or like a tablets or something, or a little bleach. Anti-malaria tablets, potassium permanganate. Add to water and mix until water becomes bright pink to sterilize it. Oh, deeper pink to make an antiseptic, and to full red to treat fungal diseases such as athlete's foot. Potassium permanganate. I've never even heard of that, but I'm going to go look it up now. So next up is surgical blades. That's scalpel blades of different sizes. The handle can be made from wood when required. Oh, look at that. He's got them right there, number 13. They're butterfly sutures, apparently. And of course, as you can see, plasters, what we would here call band-aids or adhesive bandages. And then, and he actually says condoms. It's a good watertight bag holding 1 liter is easiest to fill from a source that has an abundance of water. I did not even think of that. So that's like the survival tin. All right. Then the next chapter is survival pouch, but I don't want to do an entire, like we're at 10 o'clock now. I don't want to do readings right on to 11. I figured the survival tin is like, it's the small one. It's easy to carry. And it's kind of fun to talk about. You can really go into the weeds on this stuff. But what you like, the best survival kit is the one you got, right? So hold on. Sal said, I thought I read distress whiskey. I've got plenty of distress whiskey. David does not see the cappuccino machine on the list. I don't either, but that's okay. Oh, Fog360 says they do sell on Amazon. Okay, I'll check it out. In fact, you know what? Shall we check it out right now? Fog360, I cannot imagine what time it is for you right now, but I'm glad you're here. BCB survival tin. The prices are not that bad here. Oh wait, these are not the BCB ones, are they? No, these are Best Glide. There's an SE one. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let me just share the screen out. Okay. I really do wish my sinuses would leave me the hell alone. Okay, so I did a search for BCB survival tin. Here's one. This is the... Oh no, this is Best Glide again. That's a lot of magnesium. It's funny though, because that... No. Does that look like... No, it's not the same logo. I guess they sell on Amazon.co.uk. So there's an SE one. So what does this include? 63.95, 35, or 11.51 for over 6 months. Like, dude, if you can't afford $65, then maybe buy a cheaper kit. Wow, look at how small it is. I am. I'm not convinced that I can step away from this. I'm going to leave the page open. And I'll take a look, because I would like to, like, $65, give or take, is a much bigger chunk of change than 25 pounds sounds like. But that's too bad, because I really wanted that children's one. I wanted to buy 2 of those for my daughters. So if Amazon.ca doesn't carry them, then I'm a little let down. Peanut Trucker's talking about the liquor bug out back, which is a legit choice. David says, in the Scouts, we would have made our own survival kit. Well, I mean, I will most likely end up putting one together of my own with a little tin of some sort. That's kind of a Bushcraft 101 thing anyway, isn't it? Excuse me. Destiny says, deep respect for early explorers who somehow made it through without many of our modern bushcraft amenities. Absolutely. And that's like, I've told you, steri strips apparently is another name for those. Okay. Says Grace. And she says it louder. Peanut Trucker says they're sterile strips shaped like a dog bone. At least he knew what I was talking about. Yeah. And so Honeybee calls them butterfly bandages. Denenbaum says, want to see something cool? It's called Zip Stitch, and it's a lot better than butterfly bandages or Asteria strips. Okay, let me pop that open. I'm still pissed off about that beta light. That is, and there's Lofty just, throw a beta light in there. I'm like, yeah, but what? Link in a new tab. Let's see. Where did the tab open? Zip Stitch. I shall share the screen. This is not how I thought tonight was going to go, but it's kind of, I'm finding it fascinating. So I don't know what NS Healthcare is. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not Nova Scotia Healthcare. You're using cookies. Shut up. Oh, I see. Wow, how does that? Their website is garbage. So how does it work? The butterfly bandage, yes. By pulling the skin. But like, I need to see like an animated GIF or something. Zip technology. I don't know. I'm going to look it up though. Because it looks like something where you just sort of like you line it up and then you just sort of and then you pull, and it's like zip strips, right? Is that how it works? Like you pull on them, right? Like with zip ties? Is that how it works? If that's how it works, that's bloody genius. And way better than, a suture needle. Oh, Grace says that's what they used on me after my knee replacement. It was about 8 inches long. Interesting. So Destiny's keeping track. Analgesic, diarrhea med, antibiotics, antihistamine, water, sterilizing tabs, malaria, tabs, potassium permanganate, butterfly sutures, condoms to hold water, band-aids, and plasters. This looks pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna look those zip strips up, zip stitches up. David popping in with the words of truth. Just bring along a holographic doctor. Christy, did you even pour your beer? No, I did not. It's sitting here and it's getting warm. And in fact, it's not even beer. There we go. Because unfortunately, at about 5 minutes into tonight's stream, my youngest daughter, the 5-year-old, came toddling over and, "Hi, Daddy." I was like, okay, so I will not be drinking the Strongbow cider, nor will I be having my 10 o'clock scotch this night. So it's okay though. Tea's a good drink. Yeah, super glue. Yeah, well, that's what crazy glue was originally designed as a wound closure thing. Destiny says, "I just know if the shift hits the fan, it'll be found centuries later. A skeleton clutching a Tim's plastic lid. The coffee will have disintegrated long ago. Evidently, you did not roll up the rim to win." Yeah, exactly. Tenenbaum says it's basically 2 strips with strong adhesive and a bunch of zip ties. Crazy. Yeah, that's what Grace says as well. I want to show you guys something, and I want to do this before honeybee goes away. So I put an image on Russell's Discord about this, and I think I might have shown honeybee as well, but this roll arrived for me yesterday, and what it is my dad sent me some of his carving tools, because as some of you know, that my dad used to carve in a group under a fairly big name West Coast native carver named Norman Tate. Hold on, I'm opening up this. There we go. So I can't hold it up to show you because then knives are going to fall on me. So I will just pull a few of them out and show you the kind of thing that's in here. One is this little guy right here. Let's sort of do this. Okay. There's my dad's initials that he stamped all his tools with. That looks like a walnut handle, maybe. These tools are very different to the Scandinavian spoon carving tradition equipment that I'm used to, but some of them will work anyway. Because when you're carving like West Coast native masks and stuff, you use a different kind of tool. But some of them transcend, right? A lot of gouges and adzes in native West Coast carving. This is obviously like you can take this off and replace it. And I think that's what these might be. I think they might be the replacement blades for that, or gouges, or whatever the heck. What the hell? What are the heck? How many of you guys watch? Oh, his name escapes me. He does little carvings in like balsa wood and basswood and stuff like that. If you watch him, you might have seen one of these before. What's his name? Whoop, that was close. So, I mean, there you go. It's not quite a chip carving knife, but it's a very small carving knife. Avid bushcrafters will absolutely recognize this. That's the Mora number 1, I believe. Is the red handle the number 1? Mora kniv. I'm very glad to have one of these because I have wanted one of these old school Moras for a long time. No sheath, but I don't care. Maybe I'll make a sheath for it. Yeah, it says KJ Eriksson, Mora, Sweden, carbon steel. Carbon steel. This is a Makatogan, a crooked knife? Well, it's not quite actually, because the handle's not the same. But that looks like it would be very good for spoon carving. By Kestrel Tools, that is based on the west coast of the United States. They make an adze that I absolutely adore. I have some West Coast native adzes that my dad sent me earlier, and they use Kestrel tool blades. Avid carvers will recognize that logo. Loving that. They all need to be sharpened, but he told me that. So check these out. So in my dad's group, there was a native tool maker who would come by every now and again to sell some stuff. And so this is a handmade by I think he was Haida. Actually, I'm not sure about that. That's probably a Kestrel blade. Like there's a bunch of these. Oh, come on, fool. Focus. If that's not a spoon carving blade, I don't know what is. Look at that. You know, these are very, very basic looking, very no frills. But I really like that. I really like that a lot. He's a little tiny guy. This one's almost a chip carver. That's what I would use this one for. It's just for like a little detail cuts, you know. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Some cool stuff here. Cool stuffs that I'm glad to have. Look, there's a little one. Look at that. So yeah, I'm glad to have that. I will make massive use of that this summer, I hope. Get a little bit of time for a little carving again. Give these tools the workout that they deserve. But yeah, I think my dad is I don't think he's going to go back to the carving. You know, my guy's retired and busy as hell. They run a little, they have a little sort of self-serve pantry for homeless people in their town in British Columbia. They have all sorts of things going on. And I think that the carving has just sort of fallen by the wayside. Hold on a second. I think Serge is out. Yes, Serge. Well, I did an hour. I need my beauty sleep. Good night, all. Thanks. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, Serge. Good night. Okay, I gotta wait to see the tools. Yeah, it's I'm happy to have them. I think they're really cool. Really cool. I especially love how handmade tools get so often have that rough look to them. That actually helps you maintain hold. So, yeah. Destiny is bonsoir, Serge. Don't forget, we'll all be at your place when the shift hits the fan. Yes, Christy. Thank you, Doug Linker. That's exactly what I was thinking about. He has a lot of carving tools. He's done a lot of sort of experimenting to find what he really likes. He's done an episode or two where he sort of goes through them all. Yeah. Country Boy also knows Doug Linker. Yeah. Good to know that you guys appreciate. I like he's got a real sort of low key magic to his channel for sure. Tenenbaum says they can all have red handles. Oh, I didn't know that. Like when I've seen pictures, there's like I think the number one is always the one I've seen with the red handle. An Ericsson, not a Perfrost. Yeah. I was surprised not to see frost on the blade. Country Boy likes my carving tools. Me too. I got to, yeah, all right. So Serge is really out. Okay, good night, mister. I got to sharpen them up, or at least hone them up. They might not need a full-on sharpening. They just might need like a strop or a hone or something. Raptor Ranch, hello. How is the weather in northern Wisconsin on this evening? How you doing? Hold on. Yeah, Destiny's like, long time no see, Raptor Ranch. Welcome to the live. Yeah, it's been a while. Honeybee says, glad to stick around for the show and tell. Have a good night. Thanks. All who said hello. All right, good night, Honeybee. I'll speak to you later. Some history. Old Mora Blogspot. I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to open that in another tab. I may not screen share that one because that one's probably full of great info that translates poorly to, yeah. Oh, Krong Johan Eriksson, 1912 to 2005. Interesting. I'm going to read that up with great interest. Hold on. David, where's Jess's wingman tonight? He's taking some rest this week. Raptor Ranch says, I'm inside. The bugs are bad here. Oh, so you've gone into full-on bug season already? Wow. Shout out to Dennis. Yep, exactly. Oh, my land. I caught up. I'm at the end of the Chitty Mate chat. It's a bloody miracle. Excuse me. Good old hay fever season. But yeah, so what time are we at? We're at 22:27, so another 33 minutes to go. There we go. So in all that discussion of like the survival tin with the little first aid kits and stuff, do you guys think that there's anything that was absolutely missed? Like, do any of you have something that you always keep in your kit or in your EDC or whatever, and that you think that no one else really ever thinks about? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like, does anyone have a wrapped around? It's just full on mosquitoes. Yuck. You know what? So we have a swimming pool in the back, and we opened it a couple of weeks ago. At possibly the worst weekend for me because I had a gig Friday night, a gig Saturday night, and like a fundraising gig during the day on Saturday, and just like, but what was happening was before opening the pool, they kind of turned into like a mosquito breeding ground, and my wife was out in the backyard working on the grass or something and just getting devoured. So she's like, nope, we're opening this pool. I'm like, are you kidding me? This weekend we're opening the pool. So we opened the pool. I played 3 gigs that weekend, hauled around a lot of earth and stuff because we also did the gardening, opened the pool. I slept well. Oh yeah, Peanut Chris, extra pair of glasses, absolutely. That's a great idea for those of us who wear specs, or especially if you have to drive and you need glasses. Yeah, Country Boy has 10 pairs and never know where any of them are. 10 pairs. I could never afford 2, let alone 10. You have 2 in the truck. Yeah. Yeah. Tenenbaum was like, so is one of them always on top of your head? But yeah, that's a good idea, Chris. Absolutely. Oh, come on, Sinus says, leave me alone. Because I can never think of, like, sometimes I'll sit down as a thought experiment, on one of the rare nights when I've actually got some time, and think, if I was to put together a first aid kit right now, what would I put in it? And then, of course, I blank because that's the way my head works. But then I start to, note things down, and I always end up looking at it and thinking, this is garbage. This is missing half the stuff I need. I mean, for God's sakes, I need a tritium lamp for $200. I get the feeling that maybe just tritium itself is expensive. Now, Grace says, my glasses are 600-ish a pair, so I keep my newest old pair for a spare. The prescription might not be current, but better than nothing. Yeah, that's true. I have some, I have a bunch of old glasses hanging around. That's why you make your own kit, Tenenbaum says. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to putting that car kit together for sure. Absolutely. Fish hooks and snare wire. Yeah. Fish hooks are not going to be useful for me, but maybe. Well, the thing is, if I'm putting together a car kit, fish hooks and wire, fish hooks and line, provided Camille knows how to use them, will be very useful for feeding the rest of my family, right? I'll just make a squirrel snare or something. Tea's done. Tea is done. Just turning off my little warming plate. Tenenbaum says, here's one thing from that webpage, but then didn't show me the thing. Rope. Yeah, especially for a car kit, rope can be very, very important. Raptor Wrench, you're very, very right. I think I forgot to say, I wanted to say something else about the mosquitoes, and it just gone. Oh no, I wanted to ask you, so do you get black flies and stuff, or like horse flies or deer flies and stuff there as well, or just sort of, or is mosquitoes your one big problem? Tenenbaum. Oh, okay. I say he's saying here's one thing from the Mora Knife Legacy. Mora Knife Legacy. Question marks are straightened out. Two companies entered as co-owners in Frost. The question marks around the future of Frost Knife Factory has not been settled. Okay. Good old Zenny, eh? Yeah, I haven't actually bought anything from Zenny because I don't know if they sell north of the border, but from what I've read and heard, that's an excellent low-cost way to get into your specs. Tenenbaum says, at least in terms of ownership, it became clear on Tuesday that the two Östnors companies, FM Mattsson and KJ Eriksson, each buy 35% of the shares of Frost Knivfabrik AB. What does the AB stand for in Swedish companies? Article of Mora newspaper translated using Google Translator. 1988. Okay, so that's when it happened. Fog 360. We get all the biting bugs in the UK. Yeah, I think. But do you get all the same ones as we do, or do you have specific ones that we don't, kind of thing? Like, I know mosquitoes are world spanning, but I wonder, is it this? There have to be different species of mosquitoes, right? Even just around here. In fact, I think there are. Like, there's one species that carries West Nile virus. Maybe it's just one species here of mosquitoes. I think there are several species. In fact, like months ago, for my news of the week, I read to you guys about an organization eliminating mosquitoes through genetics, but I don't remember if it was a species of mosquito or if it was mosquitoes, like ticks, right? The ones you're afraid of here are, there's just a couple that you're afraid of in terms of getting like Lyme disease, but all ticks are gross. you know So AB is Actibolaget. Actibolaget. Okay, good to know. So that's what company is. Grace says, for me, it's ticks and mosquitoes. Though the place I camp most deep in the woods, there just aren't many mosquitoes. Weird. Yeah, ticks are the ones that give me the heebie-jeebies for sure. Mark Davidson is out. Good night, Mark. He made it almost to the end. So Raptor Ranch says mosquitoes, deer flies, no-see-ums, jack pine beetles. You get the whole deck, eh? David says we have lots of dragonflies this year, keeping the bad bugs away. Absolutely. God love dragonflies. They look fabulous. You know, like I see a dragonflies, and especially, man, when I lived in Manitoba, the dragonflies were ginormous. They looked like dinosaurs. It looks like a living relic, like a coelacanth or a fern. You know, something that something from millions of years ago that's still with us. That's what a dragonfly looks like to me. And the fact that they're so good at like eating the mosquitoes and stuff just makes me love them more. Grace says that Zenny doesn't seem to do prisms and the lenses that I need for double vision. Oh, okay. Hence the $600. I need progressives so that I can see far and close because I'm getting old. And of course I have astigmatism. But yeah, I could use some dragonflies in my backyard. Or bats. I wanted to put up a bat house, but the wife, I got the wifely kibosh put on that plan. I think it would be amazing to have bats zipping and zopping around all summer long, taking out like 1,600 mosquitoes a night, making me happy. I'm just taking a look here. And I still kind of want to get that fake dragonfly that you clip to the brim of your hat from Lee Valley, just to see if it works, because I've heard that it works great, and I've heard that it just doesn't work at all. We have a couple of those mosquito, you know, what's it called? Like you have got these inserts. It's battery powered, and it's supposed to get rid of the mosquitoes. I think Russell has a couple of them that he uses in his house, but I don't remember what they're called. I was going to say Vapor Rub, but of course it's not Vapor Rub. What the hell? I don't remember what they're called. But it's kind of a fairly new... Grace, Thermocell. Yeah, absolutely. David Evans says they do not work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always ambivalent about like a high-tech solution to a low-tech problem. You know, like I'm not going to need a laser gun to chop down a tree someday, right? I don't need like I don't even know what to like. I don't know what kind of example to pull out of the ether, but like, mosquitoes are a pretty low-tech problem. I spent my entire childhood with. You guys know those coils? I don't remember. Was it Off that makes them or something? Those green coils. They got a specific smell, and they would come with this little cheap aluminum or tin thing that you just sort of unfold and clip it on, and it sort of balances. Light one side of the coil, and it sort of burns over the next hour or two and keeps the mosquitoes away. That's as high tech as I need. I mean, I don't love the idea of having that kind of toxicity around my kids and myself, but I mean, I spent my childhood with those and I'm still here. Nothing wrong with me. But yes, my wife bought 2 of the Thermocell ones and she seems to think they work great. I'm not having the argument. I don't know. I don't know enough about anything to come down firmly on one side or the other. On pretty much anything. I wanted to have this strongbow tonight. Oh well. Boom, boom, boom. I could always have it after the live stream. Just looking at all these websites we opened up tonight. Lots of stuff to take a look at. Damn you, Betalite, for being so expensive. Such a cool concept. So cool. But like, it's funny because to me, tritium is just something that you have on like a watch face or a like a gun sight. You know, certain like really tactical ones. I'm just not willing to spend $200. Just not. It's not going to happen. Amazon.ca. Maybe there's a cheap Chinese knockoff. I don't like buying the cheap Chinese knockoff, but you know. Tritium light, tritium fob, tritium tube. So many tritium things. Wow. Okay, so tritium is expensive no matter how you slice it. Like there's a glow fob keychain here for $91. Okay. So tritium is expensive. There's something probably in the substance itself that makes it expensive as hell. Because like these prices are nuts. You know, so I'm not gonna bore you guys by like throwing that up as well, but Tenenbaum saw another site with $170. That's better, noticeably better, especially because that might, you know, that difference might bring it in at like 200 plus, you know, with the shipping kind of thing. But and lower price surplus ones, but those are old and the tritium is not so bright anymore. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're using it as a light source, you don't want the old, you know, ex-military ones. You want something new. Yeah, it's the substance itself. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was radioactive. But hey, do any of you guys have like a Geiger counter? Like, you know, you can buy kind of personal Geiger counters. Are any of you guys like nuke nerds? You got to have a Geiger counter. I'm looking for, like, some of them are really modern looking. And that are expensive, man. Recommendations: choosing the right, choosing the right Geiger counter can be challenging. No shift, Sherlock. Hold on a second. Peanut Trucker has never heard of that. Tenenbaum does not have one, but lately has been giving it some thought. I know like people who are really into Fallout sometimes will have a Geiger, like the ones who buy all the, you know, they've got a Nuka-Cola bottle, they've got a Pip Boy, a working Pip Boy, right? You just put your cell phone in it or whatever. They've got like blah blah blah. A lot of them seem to have Geiger counters. There's one person I sort of came across on YouTube Shorts or something, has a Geiger counter and has a thing for the old. Sorry guys, Tenenbaum really knows this stuff. You know the old dishware that was, the old glassware that's radioactive. It's classic stuff. Very popular with collectors. Don't remember what it's called, but like she do this like YouTube short of walking up to this stuff because she's got a big collection of it, and she goes out and looks for it and like runs the Geiger counter over it and just hears it tick 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 tick. Tenenbaum says Canadian Prepper has the ideal ones for avoiding high radiation zones post the shift really hitting the fan. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Fiesta wear. Absolutely, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Look, some people are prepping for that. I'm not. I'm not prepping for that. If the shift really hits the fan, I can't get blood pressure meds, so I'm dead anyway. You know. Look, I've said that before. My bushcrafting is not a stand-in for survival prepping. I am literally enjoying using old school techniques and enjoying solitude in the woods. It's about enjoyment for me. I'm not building a cache. I'm not building a cache of canned goods anywhere. I'm not. I don't have jerry cans full of fuel. I'm literally going into the woods and loving life for a few hours. So if the shift really hits the fan, I know. I'm Gen X, right? I grew up knowing that we were going to die in a nuclear conflagration, the way generations after us don't, right? Like that's it. That's the way we were going. That's the way we were going. Showing the day after at school, it's just, we knew. We absolutely knew. So adjusting to a world where that's not a given is tough, because like I still, when you grow up with that kind of existential fear, it doesn't just disappear because the Berlin Wall fell, right? And maybe we're even closer to it now than we've ever been, to be honest. But like, so like to me, I'm not really thinking of buying a Geiger counter. It was just really cool to see somebody with like its little personal Geiger counter that was really modern. I just love when people are interested in these things and want to have all this radioactive dishware. Jennifer's still here. Nice to see. Oh yeah, because Chris said that you actually you always have sewing stuff with you, and you create little first aid kits or little survival kits. That's pretty cool. What kind of stuff do you put in those little kits? If you don't mind dishing on your technique, or if you're keeping it a secret, that's okay too. Tin Bomb, I do agree. I think younger people don't really have the sense of existential dread that you or I might have when we think of World War III. Yeah, and because you and I are within the ballpark of each other's age, right? We grew up like, dude, when I was born, Vietnam was still going on. There were, Apollo was still a thing, and Washington and Moscow were trying to beat each other at everything. And I kind of feel that when the Soviet Union disappeared like that, it destabilized everything. Like, one thing you gotta miss about the Soviets was they kept the world balanced, right? There were two superpowers, and if anyone between them stepped out of line, one of them would just, right? And you could trust the Soviets to have their shift together. Same as the Americans, right? They both, neither of them were stupid about it. These days, there's no balance on the other side. And in fact, a lot of little countries that used to be sort of under the Russian sphere of influence, because suddenly Russia isn't seen as strong as it used to be, there's a lot of instabilities happening everywhere, right? And there are a lot of nuclear countries. So maybe we're in more danger than we were when guys like Tenenbaum and I were coming up in the Cold War era. Tenant bomb. Well, I mean, we're getting really close to politics here, but I think we're at an end of empire moment as well. So the next few decades looks absolutely crazy. Because one nice thing about having superpowers is that they do tend to keep everything, fairly. I don't mean fairly as in fair for all people, but relatively calm, because nobody wants to take on a superpower. Anyways, that kind of got dark. I was just talking about Geiger counters because I had seen this video of this girl like ticking over her Fiesta Wear collection and thought that's a remarkably like Cold War era moment right there. Man, we have so much stuff in our houses that's mildly radioactive, Christy says EMPs are what we need to be worried about, I think. Well, an EMP will definitely reduce your electronic stuff to junk for sure. Might kill your car, especially because cars are all computerized now. Did everyone here watch the Fallout season 1 of the Fallout series? He says, yeah, we're like, what, 8 minutes to the end, 7 minutes to the end, and now suddenly ask about the Fallout series. I should have asked that way at the beginning, or like as soon as I mentioned Geiger counters, I should have brought that up. I'm just seeing what people are. Anyway, because I want to sort of pull us away from the doom and gloom into Hollywood doom and gloom. Anyways, I love that series. Well, I love the show because I love the games, right? I love the aesthetic. I love the world building. I love post-apocalyptic. That's my jam. I loved A Boy and His Dog. I loved the original Mad Max film, The Road Warrior, I think it was called. Stuff like that. David Evans says, I think the Cold War was more prevalent during the 60s versus the 70s. Yeah, maybe like, it was at its sort of peak in the 50s. Yeah, it's hard to tell, It's hard to tell. Because, World War II wasn't even, like, the corpse of that war was not even cold yet when the Cold War started up, And I think, when people think of the height of the Cold War, they always think like 1955, 1958, 59, 54, kind of, a time when cars were all designed to look like rocket ships and stuff like that. And I mean, I almost never had to dive under a desk as part of a drill, right? I think that happened when I was just super, super young, but people learned really fast that wasn't going to save the kids. Chris says that David is older than us. And David counters with respect your elders. Respect your elders. We're at the 5-minute mark. So if anyone wants to bring up anything fabulously interesting for the last 5 minutes of conversation, then I am willing and I'm ready and absolutely willing to step the hell away from all this nuclear and Cold War talk to something a little less flamboyantly depressing. Though I am in my day-to-day life flamboyantly depressing, so it's not really out of my way. If you know what I'm saying. It's Country Boy says David is older than everybody. That might be a little unkind, Country Boy. Might be. Okay, so Jennifer's out 5 minutes early. 5 a.m. comes early. Yeah, it really does. Okay. Sleep well, Jennifer. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Peanut Trucker says, was a great show tonight, and he hopes that all of his friends have a safe week. I also hope that you have a safe week, Chris. I know that trucking is not always the safest of jobs. I mean, being on the road, on highways and stuff, there's always a little bit of danger. So I hope that you stay safe and have a great week as well. Yeah, Tenenbaum, it's 4 minutes away here as well. So I hope that, I know, Country Boy, I know you're just being a brat, and so does David, for sure. So yeah, we're coming down the arse end of this thing. People are starting to sort of say goodnight to each other. So from 5 a.m. Oh, Tenenbaum said it's 4 minutes from 5 a.m. there. Yikes. If Fog 360 is still here too, have a good morning. I'm very impressed with you guys over in Europe who can, or across the pond, shall I say, who can hang out till the end of one of these live streams. I mean, it's pretty late for me. It must be devastating for you guys. Yeah. So yeah, good night, everyone. I hope everyone has a really good week. I hope that wildfire season doesn't strike early for those who marked it as June the 1st. Yeah, Tenenbaum says the sun is coming up in Sweden. Yikes. Well, I'm glad you hung out with us. Fog 360 is going to bed as well. Good night. So everyone, between now and next week, as I always say, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night or good morning, everyone. Bye-bye.